Hi, everybody. Sorry.
I was like, who's going to say hi first? I'm Paul Wantoric.
And I'm Ryan Lee Gilbert.
We are live at 5,
We
and we have an
are.
amazing guest today. Aaron J. Albano's here of CATS. But you know him from a lot of things. He's done a lot.
Yes.
He's young, but he's done a lot of things.
Great.
And Ryan, we just had Ryan and I had a little adventure. We were on the road.
We were covering some national touring productions.
What did we do?
Big ones. We got to see Love Never Dies, The Phantom Returns.
Baltimore's Hippodrome.
At Baltimore's Hippodrome.
Yes.
So good.
It
yeah,
was-
I mean, you're already...
I am. I'm kind of a PHAN.
You were a big fan
So I kind of
already.
like went in knowing everything about it.
Yes, but I was
But it's a
swept
beautiful
away.
production,
Yeah.
and the stars.
Yes.
Gard Arthur Cortez, who
yep.
played it in Hamburg, Germany.
Yes.
And
Megan Paterno is
so-
amazing. as
Yes,
Christine.
yes.
But Mary Michael Patterson.
Meg
She's
Giry,
so
she's an
good.
amazing Meg Giry.
She's so
Meg
good.
Giry has so much drama.
What a story.
Karen Mason, who was
Yes, yeah.
here a couple
Yeah.
weeks ago.
Doing Live
Anyway,
at
so
Five.
it's officially, it hasn't, we're not supposed to say that we liked it because it's
Right.
not open for review
But
yet.
we loved it.
By the
Yeah.
way,
Yeah.
you know that's what they do. It's like a preview
preview
run,
engagement,
and then it's going to
yes.
Detroit in 2 weeks.
That's where
next
the
week,
official opening
and then it's
happens.
then we can tell you we loved it.
But
But we
we loved it.
We liked it.
We also saw On Your Feet.
We went to Miami.
Yes, that did have its grand opening in Miami, and those two stars are amazing. Maurizio Martinez and Christy Prades.
Of course,
So
yeah.
good.
Mauricio was on Broadway, and he's been
Yeah.
here.
Yes,
and you
he
interviewed
did Live at
Christy.
Five, and they did a
They've
one-on-one
both
with
been here.
Christy.
They've been in this room.
Absolutely.
But now they're on the road. They're in Miami. There was this big benefit for the Estefans.
Yes, they're a
and,
charity.
It was a big
Yep.
opening night. It was fabulous.
And they're sticking around for Florida for a little while. After Miami, they're going to Orlando. So if you're in Florida, go see On Your Feet. It's
And Love Never
incredible.
Dies is going to Florida too. That's where
It
they all
is,
go.
yeah.
All national
a
tours
big
go to
state.
Florida. Before I forget, we have a special shout out. We are going to say happy birthday to Hannah Joy Herrick. Happy birthday, Hannah Joy Herrick. We hear you're a big Broadway fan, and hopefully you're watching.
Hopefully.
Okay.
Happy birthday. Okay.
What's the news? What's the buzz? Tell me what's happening.
Here we go. Okay, so Jeremy Shamos, love Jeremy
Oh,
Shamos.
so good.
He's going to be replacing Alan Tudyk in Steve Martin's Meteor Shower on Broadway. Jeremy is now playing Norm, who is the husband of Corky, played by Amy Schumer.
Corky.
Corky,
Okay.
yes. And this also stars Tony winner Laura Benanti and Emmy winner Keegan-Michael Key.
Yep.
And previews are set to still begin November 1st, and it will open on November 29th at the Booth Theater, but no more Alan Tudyk. But
I was
Jeremy-
really looking forward to seeing Alan Tudyk.
Me too.
Yeah.
He was my favorite part of Rogue One, that Star Wars movie.
Well, he was in that
voices
play
the-
with Kei-chan. Kristen
Yes.
Chenoweth,
Oh,
The
yeah,
Greatest Story Ever Told, I believe it was
Right.
called, because I'm old. And he was hilarious. And
He's so funny.
That was before he sort of like broke out, and he does so much work in Hollywood now.
Right.
But I was hoping he'd be back. But he left like creative differences.
Creative differences, yeah, and because he played it in California, right? I believe he was.
Did
with it.
he?
Yeah, I believe so. So,
Oh. So anyway, the differences of creativity.
but we love Jeremy Shamos. He's amazing.
I mean, Jeremy Shamos, and
Yeah.
you know, he gets nominated for a Tony for everything, doesn't he?
Absolutely. Well, he's
For like
incredible.
TV commercials, he gets nominated for Tonys. Come From Away, oh my God. Come From Away,
Yes.
the little show that could, has recouped on Broadway, which
Matt wrote it.
means that they made all their money back.
They made it all back.
So now it's all gravy.
it's just profit.
$12 million musical, and this is really remarkable when you think about it. The title, nobody knows the title,
Right.
nobody understood the title, nobody knew what it was about. 9/11, 9/12, what's going on? A cast, amazing cast, but no stars,
Right.
holding it up. So this is a real Broadway triumph. Congratulations to everyone that Come From Away. It's less than 8 months.
That's crazy. That's
I mean, I don't remember the last time a show recouped that quickly that wasn't, a huge starry thing.
Right.
So anyway, and there's a touring production that is set to launch during the 2018-2019 season, and no doubt Ryan and I will be going to Florida to see it.
We'll be talking about it again in that amount of time. All right. The Portuguese Kid, the new John Patrick Shanley playing off-Broadway with Jason Alexander and Sherry Renee Scott. It extended a week. It's still in previews right now, but people are so excited about it that it will now run through December 3rd, the day after my birthday, instead of closing on November 26th. It's currently in previews, New York City Center Stage 1, and it officially opens on October 24th. So you have more time to go see The Portuguese Kid.
Kurt Miller, one of our viewers, said, sometimes I see your black table and I think it's a grand piano. But then, no. It is not.
It is not.
It's not a grand piano. And George also wanted to point out that Sweeney Todd also recouped off Broadway.
Sweeney Todd also recouped.
Correct.
Yes, 1.22
Thank you.
million. Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, that one I was kind of less surprised because it's like a cast of 4 and they serve meat pies. And,
At
I mean,
the Barrow
it's
Street
exciting,
Theater,
but it's
yeah.
been like an event
Yeah.
from the second it got here, from all the London buzz. But I didn't realize it was over $1 million.
Yeah, $1.22 million in
Wow.
investment. Yeah.
So
Way to
congratulations
go, Sweeney
downtown
Todd.
too.
Yeah.
Downtown success.
Hugh Pinero.
And this isn't
Apparently
a
Carmelo down
climate
there.
where everyone says off-Broadway's dead. So this is big news that you
Huge
can
news.
still
Make that
create
money
an
back
off-Broadway
there.
production that'll make money. So keep doing that. So they have this Only Make Believe gala every year.
Yes.
A lot
Yeah,
of
yeah.
people always perform at it. And they give out a Sir Ian McKellen Award, which is not given out to him. I'm assuming he won at some point.
He must have been like the first.
But Josh
winner or
Groban
something.
was winning this year,
Yeah.
so that's exciting. We'll have Josh back in our world a little bit.
We've missed him.
He is being awarded for his philanthropy and activism work, and this is happening November 6th at the Schoenfeld Theater, hosted by SNL's Cecily Strong. That's fun.
So funny.
And there are going to be performances by Montego Glover. Isn't she in another country? I guess she's coming back. Brian Terrell Clark, Robert Cuccioli, John Briones, and Greg Hildreth, and I'm sure many, many more, because that's one of those benefits that like everyone does.
Yeah, and it's right here on Broadway at the Schoenfeld. Yeah, be great. And also, we need to wish an official happy opening to Time in the Conways, which opens this evening. And your very own Matt Roden will be covering that later on this evening.
It's a great production, by the way.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Hasn't been on Broadway since 1938.
Yeah.
It's a long time.
You loved it. Yeah.
I haven't
For a
seen it
fancy
yet.
British play, right? Right?
Yeah, and I mean
It's really well directed, and the
Rebecca
acting,
Trickman.
and
Yeah, absolutely.
Anna Camp's a brunette. It's so many shocking things about it.
And I love so many people in the cast. It's got a huge,
Yeah.
great cast.
Yeah.
And there are lots of things to check out on the site right now. Very quickly, Adina Menzel and her sister Cara I don't one of those iterations of it. Cara wrote a book called Voice Lessons, and Adina is helping her promote it. And they sang the song Never Neverland from Peter
Because
Pan.
apparently that was like an important show for them.
Right,
They saw
when they were
Peter
young.
Pan when they were kids.
So you can watch them sing that. You can
Yeah.
also watch Neil Patrick Harris and Ramin Karimloo sing the national anthem at Yankee Stadium. Yankee Stadium, just like luring in all the Broadway fans.
Is it a Tony eligible house yet?
Yeah. Clear. We got Aaron Tveit. Now these guys. So check that out. LC Fest happened while you and I were gone.
Yes, I know, we missed it.
But lots and lots of great photos from that event of Darren, Leah, Norm, Lewis, Jeremy
Oh,
Jordan.
I love Darren Lee,
Yeah,
first
I
name
mean,
basis.
who else would we be talking about? And then you can see, we were talking earlier, Mauricio Martinez and Chrissy Prades, their grand opening, photos from that. First look at the national tour photos of Les Miserables and Nick Cartel of Les Miserables singing Bring Him Home in a music video shot right in this beautiful room here.
And I just want to tease that tomorrow on Live at 5, we have some amazing guests. I'm not
Oh.
revealing the names of, but make sure you watch. Come back tomorrow. Come back tomorrow.
There were clues
And
today.
and today we have an amazing guest too. We'll be
Yes.
right back with Aaron J. Albano. Hey everyone, we are back on Live at 5, and I am joined by Aaron J. Albano of Broadway's Cats. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good.
Good
Happy to
see
be
you.
here.
I'm happy you're here.
It's a beautiful room.
Thank you.
enjoy it.
Thank you. This is not a grand piano. I hope
It is
you weren't
not.
expecting a grand piano.
I thought it was that too. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, so you are. I love you. You've been involved with Cats since it opened, right?
Since the
you were
beginning,
like
yeah.
a swing.
I was a swing and a booth singer first.
Okay, which means that you had to be ready to play a lot of kitty cats.
I covered 7 cats when I first started. On top of singing in the show every night, so I wasn't.
So there's a
Offstage,
booth.
offstage.
There's a
There was
booth.
a
I've
booth.
seen the booth. There's a booth where, and this was the original production was like this too. This has always been a thing in Cats.
Yeah.
Where you're basically singing to fill the voices on stage.
Kind of, yeah, to
Is
kinda
that
help
because all
sweeten.
the dancers can only like half sing because they're busting?
I
their
mean, we
butts
got some pretty fierce
dancing?
singers in there, but yeah, every so often
You gotta sort of fill.
you
that.
gotta kind of
yeah
bump it up.
And that's why
a
it
little bit.
sounds so like rich. And,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was actually watching it recently, and I was like, oh wow, we sound good, which is great, which is really good.
But you are no longer swinging.
I'm not.
The swing has stopped. You got off the swing, and
got
you're on
off
the
the
you're on the
swing.
railway. You're on the railway. You're on the. You are Skimble Shanks.
I am Skimble Shanks.
Which
but
I used to call him Shimble Skanks. I used to get it mixed up. But I love Skimble Shanks.
I love him. He's a good one.
So good, the railway
He's a
cat.
good one.
And I love that number. It's like one of my favorite numbers.
Oh, it just gets in your head, and
Yeah.
it doesn't leave.
Yeah, and you get to build a train on stage every night, right?
Well, I get to sort of facilitate
You
the,
facilitate.
the building.
Did you know this cat? Did you before you got involved in Cats? Did you?
No, this was my first production of Cats that
Okay.
I've ever done, which is a good way to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was one of those shows that I had heard of, and I had like, because we have a lot of people in the show that were
Cats,
kind
vets?
of yeah,
Yeah.
that were Cats vets and Cats like inspired to like join the show and to have this be their like life path.
Wow.
And like
Yeah.
they got inspired to
They
dance
saw
by
Cats and they fell in love with performing.
Sadly, I was not one of those people.
Right.
But and it was one of those things like, oh, okay, Cats, but like the Kool-Aid's strong. The
Yeah.
Kool-Aid is very strong, and when you, I didn't realize just how. Is infectious the right word?
Yeah, of course.
Like it really, if you allow it to capture you,
Yep.
it will, and it's been a fun time.
I think that's true of a lot of Andrew Lloyd Webber. I think he creates these worlds.
Agreed,
And I was saying
absolutely.
the same thing about Love Never Dies
Oh my
to
god,
people.
I'm so excited for Love Never Dies.
Because I think like if you go with the tone of that Phantom world and the melodrama and the music and I mean you really can get lost in it, and I think Cats is kind of similar.
And I don't know anything about Love Never Dies, but I hear that Meg is huge, and she's my favorite character. Meg
Big
is
Meg Jerry fan over here.
Meg Jerry is my life goal because just wearing her point shoes everywhere.
I love it. I love it. Okay, so how are things at Cats? I know the show is ending at the end of the year,
At the end of the year, sadly, December 30th.
and I know it's a tough show on performers.
It's some stuff. It's
I mean,
definitely.
this is a hard.
It's not for the
performing-
faint-hearted. It's
Yeah.
definitely. It has its trials. It's great. It's wonderful, and it's
Yeah.
very fulfilling. But you gotta
So how do you
sort
take
of do
care
your
of
maintenance.
yourselves?
You gotta. I mean, you gotta warm up, and sadly, like I've learned that the hard way. In this show specifically, because I've been very fortunate to be able to do a lot of like dance shows.
Yeah.
In my career.
Actually, that's a good opportunity for me to sort
Oh,
of share
sure.
everyone your career because
okay.
you've done a lot, as I said earlier. Now I know you were. What was your first Broadway show? Was it Bombay Dreams?
My first Broadway show was Bombay Dreams. back in
Shakalaka Baby.
2004.
Shakalaka Baby.
Shaka.
And you actually covered the lead role.
I did.
You did.
I
Did you ever go on in that?
Never
role?
went on,
Aw.
but you know.
That was like a crazy show. No, I feel like I always want people. I wish people could have seen like what it looked like, and there was like a fountain on stage.
It's so
and that
funny.
music.
That's been coming up a lot lately, where everyone has been like, "Oh my God, I wish I had seen Bombay Dreams." Or what I was
Right.
like, "Oh, I wish you had seen it too, because then we would have had a longer run." But you know,
I
you
saw it
know.
a few times.
Yes,
And you were in Wicked.
I was.
Right, and you were Bach.
I was not. I understudied.
You understudied Bach, but you went on as Bach.
I went on
Yeah.
a few times. Yeah,
And you did the
absolutely.
tour.
I did the first year of the tour back
Okay.
in 2005.
Okay.
2005, and then
Well,
and
you were
then-
young. You were
I
super
was.
young. Yeah.
I was very young.
Yeah.
And then I came into the Broadway company in 2011.
Right. Okay. Spelling Bee, you played Chip. Yes. Unfortunate erection. You were in A Chorus Line on Broadway.
Yeah.
You were in Mary Poppins on Broadway. Newsies. And I know there's a lot of Newsies fans at the stage door all the time.
Oh,
right.
yeah.
It's always Newsies. You were just in The King and I.
I was.
And Allegiance.
Yes.
I mean, and Cats, I mean, like you've been really working
Thank you.
nonstop. That's
Thanks.
exciting.
I've been very fortunate.
You must feel. I mean, it must feel really good to be like, wow, I'm making a career out of this.
Thanks. It's been nice. It's been very, like I said, I've been very blessed. I've been very fortunate, and it's just been a good ride that I'm hoping will continue because you never know in this business.
Right. And you've got like killer moves. I mean, like.
I try. I mean, they were more killer a few years back, but you know, time happens.
Time happens. What are some of your like goals or dream roles or what do you like? What's the ideal scenario?
You know what's so funny? Because I've been asked this a lot weirdly, and dream roles. It's gonna sound so cheesy. I feel like I just like with Newsies, I sort of had it because I mean, like my journey with that show was it had a lot of things attached on top of being a great show and wonderful people and a wonderful creative team and all these things. It also had that sort of like childhood element to it because where a lot of my cast was inspired to dance from Cats. I was inspired to dance
Newsies
by
movie?
Newsies, yeah. And so it's one of those shows that didn't really happen until 20 years later,
right?
Which was very like, oh, if this was going to happen, it would have happened already. And then 20 years later, when I'm old enough to do it, it happened. And so I was able to kind of fulfill a like very latent childhood dream with that show.
Watching Newsies from the audience was like jaw dropping. When you all were dancing in unison and the choreography by
Chris Catelli,
of course, Tony Wing choreography. Amazing. It was like the energy. What was it like being in those moments and leaping? And
it was nuts. I mean, again, because our fans were like nothing I'd ever seen.
Yeah.
I mean, our Cats fans are equally as fervous. Is that even like full of fervor? Let's say that. But it's just the energy coming from the audience.
Yeah.
You can't help but just like mirror it back because it fills you and you just it kind of siphons through you and you all you can do is just express it back in droves and it was great. Every night at Newsies was awesome, just like every night at Cats is pretty good.
And it was also a show that sort of started small and it kept doing well and doing well, and then it was like a blockbuster.
Yeah,
I mean, it was amazing.
It was
and I feel like the real fans knew it would be a blockbuster from day one. You know.
Yeah.
Let's see. We have a lot of comments. Alec wants to know which show is harder to do, Newsies or Cats?
That's a tough one. I would say, as much as I love Newsies, I'd have to say Cats.
Cats.
Because where Newsies was difficult and Newsies was very fulfilling in that way, you also had a lot of. There really were only like 3 big numbers.
Right.
It was a big dance show, but like. Really?
There was a lot of scenes where you were just like behind going like,
yeah,
let's
or like
get 'em.
scenes like the Jacoby scene where you could just like sit there and drink some water,
Yeah, right.
or like just watch the action or interact. Or
Yes.
whatever, but whereas Cats is production after production
Non-stop.
number after production number. It was definitely like when I was rehearsing the show as a swing, you couldn't even rehearse it number by number. I discovered I had to rehearse the show section by section because there was just no way to, unless I got my brain around the show that way, I would have been relying on my notes after every number, which I couldn't do.
Right.
You had to get it kind of chunk by chunk, which is insane.
The other thing people might not know about Cats is I believe this is true that when people are out, that sometimes like the show gets adjusted, you have to adjust the show. You know what I mean, for like the number of people and for who's playing what. I mean, it's
totally.
crazy.
Yeah, I mean it's insane because. Like, what's nice is because it's a bunch of cats, but it's a bunch of different cats.
Right.
And so it's not like one cat can just fill it. Like a few nights ago, because unfortunately, because our show is difficult, sometimes people get injured. And we had to, one of the cats went down who was...
I don't like that phrase, cat down.
I know, right? Luckily, it doesn't happen as often as you'd think.
Okay.
But when it does, it does. And... His specialty, it was Aristophanes, and his number's in the second act. So he got through the ball, had to call out mid-show, and his cover is a different cat.
Right.
And so it's not like a normal show where you can just like, throw on some different clothes.
No.
That's a whole new makeup plot. That's a whole new wig.
What do they do?
They did it.
They just
took
redid
off
all
their
the
ro-
face?
Yeah,
Wow.
exactly. In the allotted intermission time, which was great. And yeah,
No one ever knew.
and no one ever knew.
No one ever knew. That's crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
That's nuts.
Oh yeah. Oh no, that happened. When I was a swing, that definitely happened. Once when I was, our Kerbuckety went down, and there's this one part of the show because I was booth singing at the time, and during Mungo, Jerry, and Rumple teaser,
Yes.
the booth will like go into the wardrobe room and go to like the candy bucket and just sort of like eat candy. I was mid like Hershey bar when our wardrobe supervisor throws me my dance belt and is like, "You're on for Kerbuckety," and I'm like, "Cool," and just like and pit crew style, everybody starts like painting my face,
Oh my
putting
God.
my wig on.
Oh my God.
They timed it, and I guess I was from Hershey bar
Right.
to on stage. They timed it, and it was about 8 minutes.
Wow.
Which
Crazy.
I was very proud of that day.
So I know that there's a lot of talk about. I had a great conversation with Lena Hall about this years ago about the secret like backstory of all the cats. There's a lot of drama, a lot of backstory. Does Skimbleshanks have any drama? Is there a girlfriend or a boyfriend?
I mean,
or an
in our-
ex or a
Because I think it like all of those like, Cats super fans are gonna get mad at me right now. It's one of those that's like, the lore is accepted, but it's not like in the T.S. Eliot poems. So
right.
it's kind of
You're saying it's basically BS. It's
gosh,
fan
now I'm
fiction.
gonna get hate mail.
It's fan fiction.
But yeah, kind of. And so like it's kind like we all know it, like all the Demeter McCavity stuff.
Yeah.
Like it's all accepted as like
right.
as like Bible. But Skimble, in our show for sure, he definitely has a relationship with Jenny Annie Dots.
Oh,
who's the
who
Gumby
doesn't?
Cat.
Who wouldn't want to?
But like I think in the prior shows, oh gosh, now I'm gonna
Here we go.
you're
digging in.
I am, and I'm not gonna be able to dig out, like, cause he, I think, cause he and Mistopheles I think were closer in the original show, but because in our show Mistopheles and Tugger are a little closer,
See?
Skimble and Misto can't really be as close because of Skimble's relationship with Tugger
And you're a little jealous.
all these
a little
things.
jealous of that old
so many
friendship
things.
from the 1982 production.
It blows up your head if you.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, David. Besides Meg Giry, any other dream roles? Well, we said Newsies. You already kind of.
Yeah.
Is there another one?
If I had to pick one right now.
Yeah.
I've always had a special place in my heart for Aladdin,
Ah.
but at the same time, I had a pretty good childhood dream come true. I can't get greedy and have to.
All right.
So,
Okay.
Would you choreograph?
I've thought about this. I go back and forth. Sometimes I
choreograph.
really love to, and sometimes I'm like, I'm good. Someone else teach me. So.
Adina said there are so many Newsies in Cats. How is it dancing with Evan again?
It's so great. The family was so small and so close.
Yeah.
That it's been great between, oh gosh, now I'm gonna name them. Because I opened the
ahead.
show with Jess and Giuseppe, which was wonderful.
Yes.
It was time of my life. And then since then, Andrew Wilson has come in, who was in the tour family, and now in the show, Josh Burridge is in the family, Evan Kasperzak, like all these people, and it's been great. It's been wonderful to dance with them again, and especially to sweat with them again.
Yeah.
Both old and new Newsies, which has been great.
I can't wait till all the newsboys, like when they're all in their 60s, have like a reunion concert. That'll be fun. If you were a cat, this is a very important question. What would your name be?
My name, Cat?
Apparently.
Oh gosh, I'm sure there's like a BuzzFeed quiz for this or something.
There should be. Somebody make one.
Someone make one. I have
That's
no
hard.
answer. That's a hard one.
What are 3 words three words to describe George Takei, who of course was in Allegiance with you?
Lovely,
Aw.
funny, and just generous. Very generous. Not just like generous, but like just such a giving spirit, and just very every time, whether I was on for my ensemble track or on for Sammy, because I was on for Sammy, who was played by Telly Leung.
Yeah.
A few times, like a handful of times, and every time he'd be so, he'd be there with me. He'd definitely be. There was no autopilot with George Takei, which is awesome. And then on top of that, like it would just be such a filled and such a giving performance in every scene that I had, and off stage, where he would always greet me with such love and such care before and after the show. It was great. I am a George Takei fan.
Where'd you grow up?
California.
Oh, okay.
San
And when
Jose,
did the Broadway bug bite you?
I would say the Broadway bug might have been a little later, but the theater bug, like kind of like knowing when I was going to do this, pretty early on, because I actually got into theater. There's this local children's theater, San Jose. At the time, it was called San Jose Children's Musical Theater. There's a shout out.
Cool.
But I think it goes by Children's Musical Theater of San Jose now. That gave me the bug at 11. At age 11, I saw a school show there, and I think they still do this, where they, at intermission, because it's kids at an assembly essentially, they can't like let them go to the bathroom. They have to just kind of keep them occupied. And one of the person who was kind of, what's it called when it's at a TV show where they like get the audience riled up?
Oh, I don't know. Those people that's
Like a warm-up,
the
like an
warm-up
MC.
act.
That dude,
Yeah.
like was like, "Hey, are you having a good time? Do you like?" And we're like, "Yeah." It's like a production of Peter Pan, and he was like, "Do you think
Oh
you
my
could
God,
do
it's
this?"
like the Menzel sisters.
Yeah, and it was like, "Can you, like, do you guys feel like you could do this?" And half the audience is like, "Yeah," and they're like, "Well, if you can, call this number." And they said the number, and I was like, "Okay."
Like,
and
they
so
would
then
have
I
a pen.
called, and then my first, like that winter, I auditioned for my first show, which was Snow White, at 11 years old, and that's kind of what gave me the performing bug, that I was like, oh, shows are fun. And then as I progressed, as I went through high school, I was like, oh, you could do this for like life.
Right.
And then I went to college, and then
Then you're like, oh my God, I'm a crazy dancer. Look what I can do.
and then because I went to the University of Cincinnati, and they just kind of
Right.
have a conveyor belt that leads you
Yeah.
to New York, which luckily I made too, and have been very fortunate since.
So when you're in CATS, do you not have to go to the gym?
Oh no, you definitely
Okay, you have to do both.
do. Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, because it's really active, but
Yeah.
just like anything, like your body gets used to it.
Yeah.
And so before you know it, like the French fries show up again, and so it's like, yeah, you gotta keep it.
Okay.
I found for me that I have to maintain like a rigorous fitness schedule on top of the show. Nothing crazy, because you got to be okay for the show.
Right.
But yeah, it definitely, you got to have the extracurriculars.
Of course. David says, please give the amazing Mamie Paris a hug from the
Oh,
Broadway.com
absolutely.
viewers tonight. Okay, so you make sure
Okay.
you do that. Aaron.
Yes,
Mamie,
for
of
sure,
course,
especially
is
from
playing
David.
Grisabella, Grizz, and and no one's friends with her, by the way. Backstory wise, watch her character study. It's a lot of drama.
Oh, we hate Grizz, but we love Mamie.
Thank you so much for coming
Oh,
by.
thank you.
It's so exciting how you're always in a show. You're always in a
Thanks.
fabulous show.
Let's
and
hope.
I
Let's
wish you well, and I'm sure we're gonna keep seeing more of you, Aaron.
Thank you.
And like I said, make sure you watch Live at 5 tomorrow. We have another amazing guest or guests, and it's gonna be great.
Yes.
And everyone go see Aaron and Katz at
Till
the Neil
December
Simon
30th.
Theater through what? January?
December 30th.
December 30th. Oh, December 30th. Awesome. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.